kind of gets old when I'm trying to sleep, and I'm like, okay, guys, like, leave me alone. I'm trying to sleep. But the coolest story was when I first met Jamie, and he was wanting me to learn more about his time in the Civil War. And I had a very detailed dream about him at a camp in northern Alabama, and it was very wooded. It was tree lines. I saw a cemetery being, constructed. I could see the campfires. I could see soldiers, marching around and drill. And it just kind of seemed like odd in a way, because I was kind of thinking, like, am I at a hospital or am I at a camp? Like, what am I seeing here? I'm really confused. And he straight up told me, like, while I was like having the dream, this was where I drilled at. And I was kind of like, well, that doesn't make sense, because I see a cemetery being dug, and I see, like a camp. I was like, I thought this was a hospital. And all he did was tell me the name of it, and for whatever reason, it, like, stuck to my head that night. And when I woke up the next morning, I Googled that name, and sure as shit, that was an actual camp where soldiers drilled in the early parts of the Civil War that was also used as a hospital and a cemetery.
That's amazing.
And I was just like, now what are the odds of that?
Right.
It's just like, those are the stories where it's like, you almost have to have it happen to you to really believe it. But, like, I know what I saw, and the fact that I woke up and Googled it to find out it was real kind of made me go, now how do I skepticize this? How do I prove this not to be real when that literally just proved to me it's real? So it's like, it's really hard to be a skeptic with what I can do, because I try to, like, want to say, well, how do I know that's really real? How do I know that really happened? Whenever I have detailed notes of proof that what I saw actually happened.
Heck, I can't even hear human voices very well.
Yep. Yeah, and it's you'll never know. Like, sometimes it'll be like right in your ear. Sometimes I'll just hear it in my head. Even sometimes, like, I'll hear them like call out my name, and like when I like look up and focus to like that voice, I'll get drawn to a specific area. So even though I can't see them, I knew where it came from. It's wild whenever I'm at these museums in Gettysburg, because I'll just be walking around and literally just randomly get drawn to some exhibit. And I'll be, like, looking at it, and I'm like, one of you are attached to this, aren't you? And then it'll get, like, 30 degrees colder around it. I'm like, yeah, I kind of figured.
Can you do this at a distance? Like, if one of us held up an object or something like that, could you focus on it, or could you focus on where we're living and pick up some kind of a apparition or spirit or something like that?
Yeah, I do that that's one of my favorite things to do. But it's like one of those things where, like, I had to, like, fully open myself up and, like, fully concentrate on it. So, like, one of my bullets where I can pick up and, like, instantly get, like, a flash vision. When it comes to pictures and stuff like that and reading people, like, I had to have it, like, kind of like a one-on-one conversation and be very, like, focused in on it. And I only learned that could happen by, like, accident, honestly. Whenever I was really starting to get stronger and stronger with my abilities, my friend sent me a picture of a location they were going to, and just said, what do you pick up on? And I was like, give me a second, I'll get back to you. And I started, like, tapping into the energy of the building, and one specific entity came out to talk to me, and it was a little girl who was, around the age of 8 years old. And I heard the name Emily, and I could see her in a white dress, and she was, like, holding, like, a balloon or something. And I texted my friend back, and I said, hey, just so you know, I'm getting communication from a little girl. She's telling me her name is Emily. I have no idea if this is even relevant or not, but this is what I'm picking up right now. And she ended up going to the ghost hunt and called me immediately after, and she goes, what did you say that girl's name was? And I said, Emily. She goes, dude, shut the hell up. I was like, what? She goes, we just talked to the owner and found out a little girl named Emmeline, like Amaline, which sounds a lot like Emily, was killed in a fire back in the 1800s, and she was 9 years old. And I was like, ain't that something? like kind of almost like stupid luck, but at the same hand, like, kind of like blew my mind that, like, I physically saw that from 6 hours away,
That's amazing.
That actually just goes to show how connected everything is. I don't really think distance mean anything. That's why when we talk about portals and things like that, I really don't think there's such thing as distance, because when I do remote viewing, it doesn't really matter how far away. It almost seems like you create a doorway and just kind of walk through it.
Yeah, that's very true. It's like kind of like I hate when I open myself up, because it will bother me all night. have a friend that's on a